Welcome back, Focus Learners. Today, we're diving into an explainer that breaks down a highly realistic, totally anti-hustle framework designed to completely transform your life in just 30 days. Listen, if you're sick and tired of those extreme productivity hacks, the ones telling you to wake up at 4 a.m. and sit in a freezing ice bath, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to unpack a deeply grounded approach that relies entirely on simple consistency rather than sheer exhausting willpower. Let's dive right in.
So let me ask you a very direct question right off the bat. What is today's date? Seriously, think about it for a second. For most of us, 6 whole months of the year have already vanished. Gone. And the really uncomfortable reality is that you might be standing in the exact same spot you were back in January, having the same thoughts, running the same habits, and making that same quiet promise to yourself every single night that tomorrow will be different. So are we going to let the rest of the year just slip away like those abandoned January resolutions? Or are you ready to finally draw a line in the sand?
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why those massive January resolutions always seem to crash and burn by February. The typical approach has us trying to do like 10 extreme things all at once. We decide we're suddenly waking up at 5 a.m., eating a flawless diet, hitting the gym every single day, and learning 3 brand new skills. But here's the thing. Human brains literally cannot handle that level of sudden extreme change. Instead of aiming for some impossible perfection, the source material suggests focusing entirely on doing the boring, bare minimum basics, but doing them with extraordinary, unbroken consistency.
To get there, here's our logical roadmap for this explainer. We're breaking this transformation down into 5 super manageable pillars: the physical foundation, mental clarity, lifestyle and environment, social boundaries, and personal growth, before wrapping it all up with routines and consistency tips.
Okay, so let's define our core philosophy here. What is the bare minimum approach? Well, it's all about focusing solely on ordinary, everyday actions with absolute, extraordinary consistency. True growth, it doesn't come from a secret trick, a magic pill, or waiting around for a massive wave of motivation to suddenly strike. It comes from showing up every single day to do the ordinary things without making excuses.
All right, kicking things off with pillar number 1, the physical foundation.
This physical foundation is absolutely crucial because honestly, everything else is built on it. When your body is weak or perpetually tired, your confidence shatters and your mental focus completely disappears. A huge part of that equation is your fuel. From Monday to Saturday, you've got to eat clean, real, home-cooked food to properly fuel your energy. But Sunday, that is your entirely guilt-free cheat day. Eat whatever you want. Because let's be real, if a sustainable plan feels like a punishment or a prison sentence, you're just going to quit. This balance is exactly what makes the whole system work.
Now, what's really interesting about this data is the terrifying cost of sleep deprivation. So many people try to bargain with their sleep, right? Claiming they function perfectly fine on just 5 hours. But the research shows that getting only 5 hours physically destroys 40% of your brain's effectiveness. 40%. That lost capacity is your fading memory, your poor decision-making, and your shattered emotional stability. Getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep isn't a luxury, it is absolutely non-negotiable.
Moving right along to the second pillar, mental clarity. We have to face the harsh reality that our generation is just completely, entirely mentally exhausted. We're drained by overthinking, anxiety, and that constant, never-ending fear of missing out. To combat this, the framework gives us 3 non-negotiable mental anchors. First, journal for 5 to 10 minutes nightly. Getting it out of your head makes massive problems feel instantly manageable. Second, meditate for just 5 minutes every morning to stay grounded. And third, read 10 pages of a book every night instead of doom scrolling on your phone. These habits literally shift you from reacting to the world in a total panic to responding to life with proactive control.
And let's just do the math on that reading habit for a second. 10 pages a night seems like absolutely nothing, right? But that compounds into 300 pages a month. That means you'll easily finish 12 books a year. Just by replacing a few minutes of mindless scrolling with reading, you automatically put yourself ahead of 95% of the population. It's a total game changer.
Which brings us to section 3, lifestyle and environment. Let's see how this all builds together.
Because your external environment directly shapes your internal psychology and ultimately your future. It's a simple truth. A clean room really does equal a clean mind. A messy, chaotic space creates this low-level, subconscious stress that quietly drains your energy. On the flip side, taking just 5 minutes to make your bed every single morning provides your brain with an immediate, undeniable early victory. It gives you a profound sense of total control over your day.
So, the crucial point here is how we manage our digital environment.
You have to turn off your phone 30 minutes before sleep to stop the blue light from totally confusing your brain and ruining your rest. But even more importantly, absolutely no phone usage during the first hour after waking up. Why? Because if you check your messages in the first 10 minutes of waking up, you are letting the noisy world dictate your mood. But if you fiercely protect that first hour, nothing can ruin your day.
Next up is the deeply uncomfortable but totally necessary fourth pillar, social boundaries.
We need to remember that human energy is finite, and you have to fiercely protect it from the wrong people. The source material does not sugarcoat this at all. Gossip is a poison. When you speak badly about others, you might think you're just venting, but it doesn't hurt them. It literally poisons your own mind. It completely destroys the focused energy you should be using to build up your own goals.
To protect your energy, you've got to implement these social action steps. First, stop texting people who only give you one-word replies. Seriously, stop trying to convince people of your worth. Second, pick up the phone and actually call your old friends. Establish a real voice connection instead of empty texting. And third, commit to 30 strict days of zero negative talk about anyone. Withdraw your energy from people who don't value you and invest it into genuine, unfiltered human connections with people who actually care.
All right, stepping into the fifth and final long-term pillar, personal growth.
This is where you build a robust, undeniable identity that nobody can ever take away from you. Now, I have to warn you against a super common mistake here. Trying to learn 5 skills at once. Don't do it. Pick just one skill and dedicate exactly 30 minutes to it every single day. You'll be amazed at the surprising results. Next, consume one resource daily to learn personal finance. Then, write your goals on physical paper and read them aloud daily to program your subconscious. And finally, embark on one new adventure every week to constantly expand your perspective.
Now that we have the 5 pillars down, we need to anchor them into reality with Section 6, routines and consistency tips.
We need structured daily routines that guarantee you actually follow through. Check out this morning flow. It takes about 60 to 75 minutes. You wake up, drink water immediately, meditate for 5 minutes, read those goals out loud, work out for 30 minutes, and only then, finally, check your phone. Completing this stacked sequence before looking at your screen ensures you are prioritizing yourself way before you let the rest of the noisy world in.
And here's how you close it all out with the night routine flow. Practice your chosen skill for 30 minutes, eat your clean dinner, put that phone away 30 minutes before bed, read your 10 pages while you journal, and get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Notice how habit stacking works perfectly here. It becomes incredibly difficult to skip an action when it naturally follows the momentum of the one you just finished. It's like a domino effect.
As you jump into this, I need you to remember one crucial thing. Restarting is the real discipline. The source highly recommends using a physical paper habit tracker to visualize your progress. But listen, you are human. You might fail one day. If you do, you must instantly drop the guilt. Don't double up the next day, and definitely don't quit the whole program. True discipline is just having the resilience to simply restart the very next day.
Let's quickly map out this 30-day timeline. Day 1 is just about starting the basics, even when you have zero motivation. By day 7, you do your first weekly reflection and enjoy that cheat day. Day 15 is huge. That's celebrating the halfway consistency milestone. And by day 30, you meet your entirely transformed self. This transformation, it's going to be quiet. It's going to be completely invisible to social media, built entirely on acknowledging and celebrating these small, tiny daily milestones.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, pretty provocative question. Who do you want to meet in the mirror in exactly 30 days? Are you going to look at the exact same person who is currently frustrated and burnt out? Or do you want to see someone who quietly mastered the bare minimum and completely changed their trajectory? The choice is entirely yours, and the 30-day clock starts today. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you in the next one.